research again and do all this fun stuff again.
We here for the unlearning. Everything you've been taught has all came to be fiction. And it's time for us to all relearn and go over the facts together and make decisions for yourself, not take what's been spoon-fed to you. We changed the name to Bread and Circuses because we feel it emulates everything that's happening now, and it's kind of like history repeats itself. Back in Rome, they would give the people free bread and free entertainment through the Colosseum and the circuses to keep their minds off of how bad actual life was there, and to keep them preoccupied. So we just want to dissect everything, and we miss the old podcast too, but at the same time it was like a pigeonhole. You know, there's so many different conspiracy podcasts out there, and for all of them I can say it's really hard to get certain guests that you would want to talk to that might be willing to talk to you about different fringe ideas, but just by the fact of being a conspiracy podcast alone kind of cast off. So,
and also the word conspiracy has kind of been washed out because most of those conspiracies have came true. So
absolutely,
it's a part of unlearning now. It's the next step.
Yeah. I think that unlearning is like we are the journey. Like, you know, life isn't about the end. Life is about the journey between, and we're trying to break down the journey between each different category for you. Make your own decisions. At least we could give you keywords or people or locations or things to look up that you can make your own decision on them. That's what's most important to me.
Or even just putting it on your radar, you know, so that you can, it's just, you know, you can decipher for yourself after that.
Yeah. I'm the hermit right there. That's my life path number 9. And that lamp right there, I'm just lighting the torch. If you care to follow me and we could learn some things, that's cool. If not, that's all good too.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So, what are some things that we should be knowing about that we will be talking in regards to Marisol?
Well, we'll definitely be exploring a lot of, I would say, like, unlearning a lot of what we've been taught about history and how things went down. Our next episode that we're going to release immediately after this intro, we talk a little bit about the world map and what we know about it and what it really is, you know, like, that kind of blew my mind, our whole conversation on that. We're going to be talking a lot about, you know, we have some great guests. We have Esoteric Eddie coming on and talking to him about, like, just in general, you know, religion and, like, Jesus and his teachings and esotericism and practices and all kinds of stuff, you know, that we think we have one perspective of it for the most part as a collection, like a collective, because of what we've been told, but that doesn't mean that that's necessarily what it is. You know, it's cool to talk to someone else who's a different perspective on esotericism and religion and everything. So, yeah, we're just going to be doing a lot more of that. A lot more unlearning.
Yeah, most definitely. I do feel, too, that there's been a whole general sense of awakening. I don't, like, you know, even using that term can be kind of cliche, but I feel like it's been more along the lines of even information-based. The way that people are able to connect things, it's just on a different spectrum. Like, with the internet now, like, there's videos where people will be an asshole once in their life, or not even once in a life, but like for one period of that day, and be caught on film and be able to be found by the end of the day through the internet where he lives, whatever the hell, you know what I mean? And people are harassing him, you know what I mean? It's just wild. Like, I don't know. What is this?
I think it's just a fast information era. You know, we get so many things, so much information in such a quick amount of time, and we learn so much in a little bit of a small amount of time, you know, and information gets spread in such a small amount of time too. So it's just learning to evolve with the best intentions possible without, you know, with still trying to hold on to being a good person and moving forward and evolving and going with the times, because the times are going to change regardless. You know, things are going to change regardless, and technology is going to change regardless. So we have to step forward. And I mean, it also goes into our new intention for the podcast, our new name for the podcast and stuff. You know, just moving forward and creating the information that, you know, like dissecting information that's being shared and like saying, like, you know, is this real, or is this like something that they're just, is there an agenda? What had happened in the past? Did that really happen, or was there an agenda behind that? You know, like, let's just figure out for ourselves what's real and what's not, and doing our own research and encouraging, you know, own research. And maybe that can enlighten someone to be like, you know what, this is sparking an interest in me in this subject, and then they can create, you know, new history and start paving the way for a new way of living because of it. You know, you just never know things.
Yeah,
it's good to question things, and it's good to do our own research and to explore things beyond what we know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've been told has been passed down by the same people who taught us that if there's an atomic bomb, to get under our desk, because that's what they were taught. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? I was just talking about that with my with Caleb, my 15-year-old son.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, because he's starting to dabble into some conspiracy podcast, and he was talking to me about like that. He was like, "Hey, Mom, what do you think about all the recordings about like the atomic bombs and stuff?" And I was like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Well, I don't think they're real, because why did the camera melt?" You know? And I was like, "Yeah, you know." So it's really cool to see.
I was listening to one too, a different podcast, and there's not been a time in history where the soil and water in Hiroshima or Nagasaki was infertile. You know what I mean? Or the water wasn't potable to drink, and that completely dismisses what radiation does, because radiation is supposed to destroy everything and pollute the soil and everything. So you look now and like, yeah, well, that's just persistent radiation, you know what I mean?
And in the water, I heard, not even in the land, right?
Yeah, they got some like 400-pound catfish swimming up in that bay.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm super excited. We got a lot of stuff coming your way. Please feel free to send us questions, comments, anything of that nature. Also, if you would like to get on, you want to talk to us about something, send us a email at bandcunlearning@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you and be a good time. We appreciate you guys. For those returning, thank you so much. I hope you guys are doing well, and we look forward to hearing from you guys.
We're so excited. Okay, bye. Enjoy the show.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm grand, thank you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's good. It's good to take
Kind of
breaks.
did yeah, go ahead.
No, I said it's good to take breaks. It's good to get like re-inspired.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, I like rebranding because, or renaming or whatever. I feel like we were kind of pigeonholed into what we could talk about. And so I like this because we pretty much talked about whatever the hell we wanted to talk about anyway. Now we're just
Exactly.
not limited, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I shared that on Instagram. I was kind of like talking about how we were like kind of like you said pigeonholed conspiracy, crime, and music, and we had so many people like reach out and then wanted to talk about other things that had nothing to do with conspiracy, and I didn't want their research and their like life devotion to be considered a conspiracy because it's on our podcast, you know. And so I was like, no, it's not even a conspiracy. Like, you're legit doing the work, and I want it to have some value to it and stuff. So now we have the freedom of talking about whatever we want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we were talking about so much recently this week, you know, the AIs and all the crazy stuff on the news. So we thought we'd catch everybody up on what's on the news.
I think a cool thing with it too is every day it's changing. Like it's emulating new boundaries. Like we see Google testing new things where AI is able to write news ads, and it's like, where are we going to be getting the news from? Are we going to be getting the news from actual journalists, which we're already short of, or are we going to get AI generated news clips, which even if some chat GPT is legit, but then there's times where like some of them are fucking off.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think AI has a long way to go still. It's still really rough with everything that it does. It's kind of like, it makes me feel like you can try to replicate human behavior and human algorithms, but at the end of the day, it's still not human, and it's always going to be a little off, you know, with what it does.
Yeah.
When it's perfect, that's scary. But right
I
now,
did write that down. I said fuck at 2 minutes and 33 seconds. And
okay.
3 minutes and 5 seconds. We'll make it work. we got to get that YouTube back, man.
Yeah, we're trying really hard.
And that's one of the reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah, the cussing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so news is probably mostly AI right now, I would say, or at least the algorithm. That's how they keep track of it.
Even if there is regular news, how much of it is being displayed to the people through the algorithm, which is AI driven anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all programmable.
Dang, that just kind of blew my mind, because if you think about it, like, say they want certain people to have certain roles, right? So
Yeah.
if they look at like my life history, my search history, what I've done so far in life, and they're like, all right, let's kind of, in a way, still control her reality, right? So they could be like, okay, this is the news that we're feeding her based on what she does as a profession, her Google search, her lifestyle, her income, her credit, like everything, right? Then they can feed you certain news and certain agendas and certain kind of persuade your mentality. And you're still a slave in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Because you get to pick what you get to see every day. Whoa. Thanks for that. Just blew my mind.
I didn't do anything. You realized it yourself. That's not on me.
That's scary.
But sure, you're welcome.
Yeah.
What about recently, Japan? They found like 70,000 islands or something like that they didn't know they
What?
had in their territory. Here, I'll look it up.
Wow.
So it's something
Congratulations,
around.
Japan. You're bigger than you thought you were.
I know,
That's
right?
How did you not know that was there?
Japan finds
It would
7,000 new islands it didn't know it had, and that was in March
how,
3rd, 23.
how big are the islands?
It says this is per CNN. Japan has recounted its islands and discovered it as 7,000 more than it previously thought. Digital mapping by its Geospatial Information Authority of Japan, GSI, recently found there to be 14,125 islands in the Japanese territory, more than double the figure of 6,852 that had been in official use since 1987 report by Japan's Coast Guard. So, the size more than doubled since 1987.
Interesting.
However, the GSI this week stressed that the new figure reflected advances in surveying technology and the detail of the maps used for the count. It did not change the overall area of the land in Japan's possession. So it didn't change the size of it on a map. It just, I guess they were like little individual islands, but still within the territory in which Japan knew they owned.
Okay. So, on the map, what were they before? We just didn't claim them? They're just kind of like, well, let's not color those in. Let's not put that on Google Map.
It says in like 87, in 87, they had 6,852 that had been officially reported by Japan's Coast Guard.
Okay, so they're not put on the map until someone reports it?
Or like makes it official.
So do you think there's more land out there that's not on the map because it hasn't been reported officially? The
100. You ever heard of the island Kiribati? I
No.
think that's what it's called. Dude, I'm going to
Kiribati?
blow your fucking mind right now. What time is that? 7:48. Okay. I got to do this one in DuckDuckGo, though. Yeah,
I thought
this is from Sean Hibbler. Shout out fucking Hibbler Productions. Go check that out. That's a movie we should watch. We were talking about I don't know how it would work. We wouldn't be able to show the movie that we're watching, but we'd be able to watch it simultaneously, and then we could like pause it and talk about certain aspects of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give us your input. If that's something you'd like to do, then let us know, and we'll try and make that happen for you. All right. So DuckDuckGo. Island of Kiribati. Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure this is the right fucking spot. Shit.
It's fine. Yeah, it's so crazy to me to think that there's other islands and land that we don't know about. What, shouldn't everything be on the map? Like everything that is on
How
Earth?
do I
like,
share a clip
don't
in here?
exclude.
Oh, here we go.
Go to share.
Share.
Don't exclude things. Like, why would they exclude it?
Let
But
me-
then also, like, on the other side of, like, Antarctica, supposedly there's more
Yeah.
land also. So, I'd like to see that. So we
You can
have,
still
like,
see me right now, right?
yeah, but we have a
Okay.
preconception of what the world looks like, but that's not what it really looks like.
Yeah, 100. Because if you think about it, everybody was programmed to believe this since like the 20s when they started, when Rockefellers, or the Rockefellers started the education board.
Yeah.
You remember that? It was like 1928 or something like that.
Okay, so they get to dictate what goes on the map and what doesn't go on the map. And it's not like we're going to go explore every inch of the earth.
All right,
What's the purpose of that?
Well, so this island, like I said, I don't know everything about it. I'm still looking into it, but Hibbler was talking about it, and it's like out in the middle of nowhere, but there's like billions of dollars being moved through this country in freight.
Wow. And
it's
not on
like
the map.
out in the middle of nowhere, dude.
What? Okay. Not on the map. No one's heard of it. Can you Google it? Or do you have to?
You can't Google it, but you'll get something. But Kiribati, I get it in what's it called?
DuckDuckGo?
DuckDuckGo, yeah. Let's see. It says Republic of Kiribati.
Very interesting, to say the least.
The island spread straddles the equator and the 180th meridian. Although the international date line goes around Kiribati and swings far to the east, almost reaching 150 degrees west.
Kiribati.
So it makes the Kiribati's easternmost islands, the southern line islands south of Hawaii, into the same day as the Gilbert Islands and places them in an advanced time zone on Earth.
Huh.
So if you Wikipedia, it shows it. Let me see if I can...
Advanced time zone.
Share screen.
That's crazy, dude. That's so crazy. That's like so mind-blowing to know that there's like, there's that.
So do you see it there?
Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you could see like here's Australia right here, right? And there's this here, and I believe Hawaii is right there. So it's these weird islands, and I don't even know if this is the right one. Let's see. Kiribati, is it this one? No. I don't. I have to look into it again. But Hibbler was basically stating that they had found there was a bunch of like freight going into that country and out, and then he like put the number of how much money is going there and how much is being shipped around normally, and it was fucking weird. Like almost like, are we supplying another civilization?
From the United
I don't know.
States.
I don't know.
Or just the
I don't
world.
know. Outside what we know as the world.
The other side of Antarctica.
Like, what if aliens aren't from outer space, but like extraterrestrial? The word means from
Earth.
different place, not outer space. A different place, not outer space.
Because terrestrial originates from the word terra, which is Earth.
Boom.
Huh.
That's why I don't believe what people think aliens are. I don't think they're aliens. I think they're like interdimensional beings. I almost like, dude, we could talk about orbs. Did I tell you about my orb experiences?
You told me a little bit.
So, so I listen to like 4 podcasts religiously. And one of them is Bledsoe Said So. Shout out Bledsoe Said So,
One of our faves.
Nick, Ryan, Alex, Jenny, everybody. Emmy, Jeremy, the homies. So I listened to them a lot, and like, so I got involved. Their dad, Ryan's dad, dropped the book UFO of God, and so they had like, I'm in the Discord, and I was talking with them, and they did a book club. So we were talking, and his dad actually got on. So we're like talking to Chris Bledsoe, and he was talking about how they have like the phenomenon. That's what we'll say it is. I don't believe it's aliens. I believe they're angels.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say the phenomenon act like children, like they want to show off, like, and they want you to be in awe. You know what I mean? And it's all in a heart of gratitude and love. And I don't know, man. It's wild. Like, so after I was on the book review, I went outside. It's like, I'm sure you go out there, you got the right heart, whatever, you know, you might see something. So I go out there, and like out in the distance, so I'm in Arizona, out in the distance over the mountains, I see a red orb go to the right like this, and I'm like, what the hell? There's no way, you know what I mean? And then it stops, and it goes up and down like 7 times and disappears. And I'm like, okay, that's wild. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
fast forward, people have been seeing, like in the Discord, people have been seeing a lot of orbs. There's lots of people seeing them all over the world. There's videos of people seeing them at Disneyland in the sky, and they're moving during a firework display. You could tell it's like way up in the sky, but it's like moving its own way.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. So the other night, and so I had been talking to my ex-wife. We've been working really hard on having an amicable relationship for our children, so that
That's
they're
so
able,
rad. That's so cool.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Trying.
Love it.
And so I had been talking to her about the book and like the orbs and the phenomenon, and so she's like sitting there like, dude, you're tripping, aliens, UFOs. I'm like, that's not what it is, but they would cut me off and dismiss me, and I'm like, whatever, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had told her, like, you know, all I did was I was just like, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful sight, God, for creation, for me to be able to sit here and view this. You know, this is amazing. Thank you. And it happens sometimes. And so I'm walking her out to the car, and they're getting in the car. It was her and her younger sister. And so her sister's getting in the car, and then she's getting in the car, and she's like, thank you so much for being here, like kind of mocking me, right? And I'm just like, I get it, you're mocking me. And she's like, honestly, I'm not mocking you, but like, I wasn't serious with what I said. And I was like, whatever. And so
Yeah.
we like look up in the sky, and she's like, is that a shooting star? And so we see a shooting star. She's like, if it changes direction, I know that it's not a shooting star. And all of a sudden, dude, a fucking orb the size of my head flew 200 feet over the top of my house, just to the point where, like, it's not peripheral. I'm like, here's my garage, and I'm standing right here, and it's over my house. Huge. And she screamed, oh my God! And so I was like, yes, I'm not the only person that saw that. Like, she saw it too. And it flew over my house, and then it disappeared. And we're just like, what was that? And I was like, see, I told you. Because I told her, I was like, you can mock me. I left this part out. I said, you can mock me, but what I do is I'm like, because they're very hardcore Christian. And so
Yeah.
they think that like I don't know, whatever. So I
You're
just said,
out
no.
there.
What I do is I'm just like, hey, God, thank you very much for this creation. Thank you for the ability to be here and witness it. If you'd like to show yourself, I'm here. And that's when we saw that. The shooting
That's so
star.
cool.
And then it flew past the house. And if it was like a comet or something like that, it would have flew past my house and my neighbor's house, and it would have probably taken out the next 4 houses. Like, that's how close it was. It was huge.
That's amazing.
And she saw it too, and it blew her mind. And then another time, we saw an orange one in the backyard through my back window, and it eventually was moving, and it moved, and it was gone.
Dang.
Big orange one.
That's
this is
so
all within
amazing.
a month.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean there's so much more that we can't see, you know?
I just think
And
it's wild.
tapping into it, that's amazing, like to be able to see that shit. Like I think you just have to be open. You know? Open
Yeah,
open your
100%.
fucking mind and your heart.
Well, so they were saying that, like, so August 1st on the History Channel, Chris Bledsoe is on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch.
Uh-huh. Oh my god, I love Skinwalker.
It's on
So
Beyond
by the
Skinwalker.
way, I'm still down to go camping there. And I know I said that last year, and I got a list of people that wanted to go and do a little retreat. So if you guys are still,
You might want to change your mind. Maybe we could work something else out. You ready?
what would happen?
Okay, so I don't want to talk too much about it. So we'll talk about it after. But August 1st, the episode is with Chris Bledsoe.
Okay.
And he goes there. And then there's videos online you can see right now. And they put like this helmet to read his brain waves and everything. And they end up going from there to his house. And he gets more action there than he does at Skinwalker.
At his
And
house,
to
he
the-
gets more action
yeah,
than
And it's to the
Skinwalker.
point. And it's
Well,
to the, yeah.
Has he done any of the similar testing? I feel like we need to get him
He went
on
to
here.
the Monroe Institute and freaking melted the headphones on his head doing the meditation.
Whoa. Okay, so I think, let's make it happen. Let's try to get him on here. I want to talk to him, and see what's up, because that's cool. I mean, I'm so into that. I've seen UFOs and stuff, and done the same kind of thing that you did. I was camping in the desert of San Diego, kind of did the same thing. You're like, let's just channel as much love as possible and look up into the sky and with gratitude and see what happens, and like kind of ask for it and be open to it. And the same thing, we saw an orb like go from like a tiny star to like boom, zoom in right in front of us, and like this huge orb, and then it like flashed and went away. So I mean, I definitely think we can all do it, and it'd be cool to get him on our show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll see what we
So
can
if
do.
he's up for it. And then maybe we can
100.
work towards more important beings such as Bigfoot. Some
You know what?
Sasquatch
So-
action. I would love
So
that.
that's something too that I've been researching, and I'm kind of leaning towards like, so we talked about the fallen, right? Or like those that came and bred with man in the Bible and created the Nephilim, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if, because it also says in the Bible, like, not only did they breed with man and woman, but with animal as well, right? So what if freaking Bigfoots and like dogmen and werewolves are freaking Nephilim?
Maybe.
Well, because there's a lot of people like that who have those sightings. A lot of them will see like a Bigfoot and a dog man, and it's like
Really?
they're meeting like out in the field for some business, and they'll be like, "Yo," like telepathically,
What kind of
"Get the
business?
fuck out of here."
What kind of business?
I don't
Like,
know, but that's what I'm saying.
They're all, hey, we're planning on opening up a new bank here in the forest, and we need you to get the fuck out of here because you're gonna know too much.
I don't know. I'm telling.
We're having a business meeting about what's going on out here in the fucking forest. So
What's in your wall?
Can you fucking skedaddle or?
Hey, check it out. There's 5 new humans that moved in. They kind of saw my predator camouflage, so I'm gonna need you to scare them the piss out of here. Maybe we could switch locations. I'll start scaring your people away. You scare my people away. They'll just be like, I've seen 2 of these people and they're different.
What kind of business
Who
do they
knows?
got going on out there? What?
Right?
That's rad. But I want to, I don't know, that's cool though. Yeah. I feel like recently, right, there's a big push towards just us opening our minds up to, like, actually there's being other creatures than just us. You know, like the girl on the airplane that was like, that motherfucker right there is not real. Did you see that video?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so that one, and then there was another one recently of like an Asian man. Hold on, my cat's eating my, hold on. No! No. He's getting into my Starbucks. Okay, so there was another video
It's okay, I got it.
so there was another video of like a Chinese flight. So there's a bunch, you know, there was a guy on
I
there.
saw that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was in Chinese and like completely, you know, he was like, oh yeah, they're not real. So I think they're like, there's really an agenda right now, either for like opening up people's imaginations or whatever fucking reality to there being extra creatures out there, or people, you know, UFO or ETs or whatever. They're just trying to like open up the possibility for that, you know?
You ever listen to the confessionals? Shout out Tony Merkel.
No, what do they say on there?
He does, like, basically has people call in and they'll tell, like, some of what I was talking about are some of his cases, and they're just people who call in and they're like, hey, look, this is my experience, or they'll leave him an email and he'll hit them up and do an interview. And some of them will talk for like 4 hours about whatever their story is, you know what I mean? And it's, some of it, I don't know, like, I don't want to say I don't believe it, because everyone's allowed to have their own perception of reality, but to me it's hard to.
So
you know
is it people who are having experiences with like reptilians or like aliens or whatever?
All of them.
Oh, how cool.
Demonic possession, frickin' they were in a satanic cult and they're Christians now, and what they saw, or like dogmen, that's a big one. He's done a couple dogmen, like
Okay, tell me about this.
expeditions.
Tell me about this dogman creature.
So it kind of reminds me of a skinwalker, but not as much. Like
Okay.
what they say is they're usually it's like a Bigfoot, like where it's like 8, 9, 10 feet tall. But it's a freaking dog, like Anubis from Egypt, I think, right? Anubis is the dog face.
Yeah.
Like that, but big, dude. And it's so, like, think of like a werewolf or something, but huge, like 10 feet tall. And people in Kentucky and like these different places are seeing them, and they're starting to spread out to all these different locations. People, they're calling in. So one of the ones that I found wild, because it's pretty close, is Joshua Tree. So he was, yeah, dude, he had you need to go and listen to his Joshua Tree Death Portal cult episode.
I
You
love
know,
Joshua Tree.
dude, so there's a spot out there where there's some wild parties going on that are metaphysical in nature and not in a good way. I don't know how else to explain it. You have to check it out. Just go check it out. Fucking Death Portal Cults, Joshua Tree, Confessions. But, so he was talking to another guy. Somebody turned him on to this guy that owns a garage in Joshua Tree. And he was talking about these dog-like beings that walk upright were stealing parts out of his garage, like taking the parts and taking them out to the desert, whatever. And somebody came in unmarked vehicles and talked to him, and since the guy's been missing, and he was talking about how, I'm just saying what this guy said, I don't know, this isn't my spiel. So he was saying that they were taking homeless people from different areas out there, and willingly like feeding them to these dog men things. So like, I don't know if they are like government like projects, like crossbreeds. I don't know. You know, anything is possible at this point. But I do know, like in my area, when somebody's homeless out here, they take them and they drive them out of town somewhere and drop them off there.
Oh yeah, I mean, where I live, I'm not gonna say where I live, but
I'm not either.
we have our local homeless, you know, like, and we kind of all as a community like keep an eye on them. You know, they're harmless. We know what they're doing. It's Southern California. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Where I live,
I'm in Arizona.
It's I mean, it's common here. You know, it's common every city, no matter how much you're paying for your house. They're out here. They're all over. You know,
You need to get the hell out of there.
Honestly, we've talked about it. I can't. I really can't. I'd rather just like stand up and hold ground, because this is like my hometown, and I'm gonna make sure that.
Go back.
No, I'm seriously like, I'm making a difference already. Like,
That's
I can
good.
tell. And even like recently, the school that I registered my kids to and stuff, like, it's happening. But anyway, what I was saying is, we have our local homeless that we kind of just all like watch, and we can tell when there's like a new wave that comes in, you know, when they get dropped off, just like what you just said, and we're all kind of like, oh, here we go, you know. And they'll usually last a little bit, like a couple days, and then they kind of get washed out again because they don't get accepted into the community. But it's a thing, man. It's crazy. And so I could see that happening, like the dog man, like them being sacrificed to the dog man. Like, you know, I can really see that happening.
Let's see. I'll look up what DuckDuckGo says about the dog man.
Yeah, dude, I've never heard about that before right now. So this is news.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm open to
See, I got
like,
to the point where I was like, dude, I'm tired of hearing of the fucking dog man, because it sounded stupid to me.
Yeah, it does sound kind of silly. I'm like, really, a dog man? Like, what kind of dog though? What preferred breed? Is it like a Labradoodle or?
So when you Wikipedia, the first thing that comes up is the Michigan dog man, right? And it says in folklore, the Michigan dog man was allegedly witnessed in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan, United States.
Okay.
The creature is described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed bipedal canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. According to legends, the Michigan dog man appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7. Sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan, primarily in the Northwest. Can you hear my dogs?
A little bit, yeah. They don't want you talking about the dogman.
Yeah, I know, right? So, that's the Michigan dogman, but let's see. So it's a cryptid, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if it splits it.
Dogman. That's really interesting. That's like a new creature unlocked.
Let's
Dogman.
Did you
I
hear
honestly,
that right now?
no, but I think Dogman is more of like, when I think of that, I think more of like an anime. I don't really think of it as like an actual, like, creature.
Okay. Let's see. This is from the. Oh, this is the same thing, Michigan Dogman. But the thing that's funny is like this stuff has been spotted all over the place. Like even my aunt, she's like devout Christian, hardcore Christian, lives in Michigan. She swears by Bigfoot. She like seen it or something. Like
No, that's so cool.
yeah, like legit. Like my mom pokes fun and people poke fun, but like she's with it. And the Nephilim thing too. She's like, "You, Frank, you need to watch this." And I'm like, "All right, I'll check it out."
I want
Yeah.
to see Bigfoot so bad.
Heck, you haven't seen any of their like recent things?
I've seen the recent things, but personally, I haven't seen Bigfoot. Like, I want to personally see Bigfoot. Like, and
I
I
don't know
am
if I
an
do.
avid outdoorsy camper. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always out in nature and stuff. And I still have yet to see this guy.
Let's see.
Would love to see him. So your aunt has seen him, or she just like
I don't
believes in
know
him?
if she's seen him. Yeah, she believes in him. Dude, there's a new weird one in Canada I'm trying to see.
That's crazy. Okay, so I honestly think that a lot of the like there's an agenda obviously right now for people to realize that there's more than just like humans on Earth. You
Yeah.
know, there's like other things that are around. So it's obvious. It's an obvious agenda, and I think people are starting to like be a little bit more open to it. But I just don't trust it. I don't know what the intention is behind all of this. You know?
I just don't believe that everything that we know is anything we know. I've learned that 8% of the universe is matter. Matter is all we perceive. All we perceive is matter. So if that's only 8% of the universe, that doesn't equate for dark matter and antimatter. So what is that? What's a combination of that I can't physically see on a spectrum? What do I perceive it as when I can? You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot to it.
Yeah.
Wild. Dude, there's some wild stuff too with that freaking, what do they call Ocean Gate? Was that what it was called? The submersible
The guy that died in the Titanic.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some wild stuff with that. I need to do some deeper dives myself so that I can write all these notes down. But a lot of the stuff comes down to like one of the guys on it. I don't take my word on it, and this is all through Wana Yala from the One-on-One podcast. Shout out, freaking! He did a like deep dive on this, and basically they come down to like one of the guys who was on there that died. He was the son to the president of the Bohemian Club.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Bohemian Grove?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So
Those
and it goes
kinky
back.
motherfuckers.
Well, they were supposedly like doing child sacrifices.
Yeah, no, they're
or
doing
fake
crazy
child
shit.
Sacrifices there.
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah, and so there was that, and there's a bunch of different like correlations between the people who were involved and what it was, and it almost looks like it was like, hey, I'm not gonna say like I don't know, like was it a sacrifice? Was it something that didn't really happen, but they made it happen for us?
Mm-hmm.
All our energy derived on it because they had passed. 3 days prior, you know what I mean, on that Friday. They had
Yeah.
confirmed that it had already happened, and so they made everyone in the world believe that they were still alive for whatever 3 more days, and I don't know. It falls down the timing and stuff. There's a lot of numerology involved in it all. It's wild stuff, and I don't know. I can't equate any of it, but I've learned that there's no such thing as coincidences in life.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing just seems so off from the beginning, and I think there was a lot of conspiracies that were going around because of it, and I remember my first initial reaction to it intuitively was just like, oh, this guy's just trying to get away from something, like you're a billionaire, maybe you're just over it or whatever, you're trying to dodge something. That was my first initial reaction. But then I've heard so many other theories, and people were saying that they had something to do with exposing some of some of the corruptness that's going on, and being a part of a certain group that was going to expose a lot of that stuff. And I mean, there's just so many different things. It's just off. When you see something like that and it's so off, your intuition just goes off immediately. You're like, no, this isn't right. There's more to this than just a couple of rich billionaires doing no research and getting into this piece of shit submarine to go see the Titanic through a video, instead of actually seeing it out the window or something. It was all off. So I don't know, just part of the what the fuck.
I don't know either. For me, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I just don't. Plus, at the same time that all that was happening, so Friday, the Coast Guard had confirmed, or the Navy, somebody had confirmed that it had already imploded. And then they didn't announce it until Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday. And that Monday was when they were supposedly announcing some stuff on the Epstein case. And so it was almost sleight of hand, look over here while I tuck this over here,
Look at this.
You know what is this? A whole lot of this. I had a guy that I used to work with that used to do that. Shout out, Homer.
What's up, Homer?
His name's Mario, but I call him Homer. Yes.
Oh, man.
What about what are your feelings on the currency situation?
Currency situation where money does not exist. Money is
Well, it doesn't, but they're trying to make it digital. But not only digital, it's programmable. So if you and I are doing this podcast and we're not talking about the things that they want us to talk about, or they don't like what we talk about, they can shut down the use of our money, tell us what we could use our money to buy. Yeah.
I feel like the importance of money is getting less and less as time goes on, and less people care about money and more people care about quality of life. And I don't know if it's too progressive to say this, but I feel like money is in a dying breed in a way, and there's going to be another form of currency, right? We were always taught money is an energy. It's an exchange of energy, and I think eventually our idea of that exchange is going to change,
I'm sad then. Dude,
yeah.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, you're sad. You're rich. You're already rich, and we're all fucking already rich.
Yeah, dude, because freaking unvaccinated semen is the next Bitcoin.
Yeah. I've heard
so I'll be good. I'm glad I waited on that vasectomy.
Yeah, I think, it's going to be like quality of life exchange at that point, Like there's
Yeah.
people that are living some rich, fulfilled lives without having um, a quote unquote job or salary, There's a
Yeah.
lot of people doing that, and that's a dream. Before, the dream was like, have a family and a home and children and get married and, work and die. Now it's like live life without having to be a slave for anybody else, and kind of
Yeah.
like creating your own, having your own food and your own resources and everything as simple as possible. That's like the new American dream. So honestly, I don't think that currency is going to matter as far as like what we have now, what we're used to, like the dollar is not going to matter. So it's a dying breed.
I get it. What do you like? Do I got a booger hanging?
No. Just funny, it's just life.
Spill the tea. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's see. It's at the old
It's so
pocket
refreshing to be
monolith.
back on and recording, and we've gotten so many DMs. Like people were like, "Can you guys just please make an episode again? Can you guys get back to recording?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I'm with it.
We're back.
I've missed it too. It's just been wow.
Yeah, it has been, but it's a new season. It's a new era.
Okay, let's. I don't know what you got.
What do I got? A lot of my the recent thing that I've noticed has been on people being so easily replaced now by AI, and it's starting. I think there's a lot of people. I know that there's a protest going on, right, with like the actors.
Yeah.
And I think what that's going to bring is it's going to be like, okay, now instead of using an actual human being for this role, then we're just going to use their image and their brand as an AI, because what they're doing now is they're hiring extras, and you're not necessarily got to be there physically.
Yeah.
They're using you just like your AI, and you kind of give them rights to your image. And then they can use you, and they can use your image as an extra. So I think that's a lot of actors are getting replaced right now, and they're going to be. A lot of the music industry, the entertainment industry is going to be replaced by AI.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I did see that. It's like they offer you $200 or something like that, and then they have the rights to use you as an extra in anything forever.
Mm-hmm.
Put you in a crowd of 100 people celebrating Preparation H and pedophilia, and you're just like, what the fuck? They only gave me $200.
I didn't consent to this.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yes, you did. You signed the little dotted line, homie.
Yeah, people do anything for money. But yeah, it's like, I mean, that's fucking crazy to me. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, I say we call it on a up note for our first little shindig back.
We
have a great guest coming tomorrow, and we will be re-recording. We're running a new software. Let us know what you guys think. Shout out to Riverside. Shit's badass.
Yeah, we're happy to be back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
All right. Well,
All right. Bye.
have a grand night.